got a little bit of a controversial topic, and it was controversial with me because I have no problem going there when it comes to this next one of our most favorite and iconic moments that happened in all of professional wrestling 2020. Brian H is like laughing because he knows I'm like winding up as he's trying to time code everything. Sasha Banks and Naomi walk out of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
um, does anybody care at this point?
Obvious, always.
Okay, Brian H. Why?
I mean,
See, look, see. This is what I'm saying. First of all, he shouldn't have jumped out there because Brian H is trying to like do this like defend women thing, which I respect.
what?
But
Wow.
no, because I knew it. I knew it. He's fresh off those wrestling girls fan club
Right.
thing.
Defend
The
black
show.
women thing, yeah.
Yeah, and that's our instinct. Like because we're black men and we love black wrestlers. Like and we love Sasha and Naomi. But I'm really questioning, like, yo, do fans really care as much as they say that they do? I'm not saying that they don't, and I'm not saying that I don't. I'm saying it happened. Like,
I don't care. I'm saying it. I don't care anymore.
okay, now tell me why you don't care.
Because it's dragging along, man. Like if they want to come back, they'll come back. Like you know what I mean? Like they're doing at this point, they're just doing what they want to do. Like, I mean, no shade against them. It's just
They was hitting up runways and going to fashion shows and stuff like that.
Just let them live. If they want to come back, they'll come back. You know, like
has the women's division suffered for them not being there?
In WWE?
Yes. Absolutely not.
Honestly, no.
Exactly.
The reason I say that is you got a new Sasha Banks. Bianca Belair is taking over.
She's John Cena of women's wrestling.
Yeah, no, nobody care about Sasha Banks no more. You know, WWE. I hate to say it that way. And
they don't. Not the WWE audience.
No, right. That's what I'm saying.
The 25. We are. You know who we are. We're like you said, brother. This is because you tell the truth though. We're the 25%.
Right.
We of course we care. Nobody cares about what we. Nobody cares what we think though.
No, not at all. Not at all. And what's the lady's name? Is it Naomi or Naomi?
It's Naomi.
Because I always thought it was Naomi. Because everybody else out here talking about Naomi.
They should make it seem like it's extra African, extra like.
Sounding like an old man uncle right now.
Bro,
Hey, what's her name, by the way?
He
respect her name, bro.
He
like,
is
respect her name.
He's telling the truth though.
You know what I'm saying?
And I understand exactly where you're coming from because it's like it's not. Once again, I'm not saying I feel that way, but I'm saying right realistically. I knew Sasha Banks was in trouble a long time ago. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because Bianca Belair was everything that Sasha Banks tried to be in regards to her gimmick and persona.
Mm-hmm.
That's no disrespect to Sasha Banks and everything she's done. But Sasha Banks came up in the era of Triple H not being in charge. You know what I mean? And she had to deal with a lot. And she was like, bro, and she, you know what she found out? As much as she loved this business, she's swimming with the sharks.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And she was like, nah, I know my value. I know my worth. That's why she left out the first time. Vince wouldn't release her. He sent her home. She comes back again. And she walks out because she wants those. Like I said, she's going to go down as almost like a martyr for women's wrestling because she took a stand and she had no problems saying you can have the straps. I'm out. I respect that because you need change. The problem is Triple H took over just not too long after that. You know what I mean? So she had her reasons, and I'm sure there's a lot of reasons that we don't know because we haven't spoken to her personally. But I'm telling you, the WWE is not sweating one bit because Bianca Belair, they've met their quota with like black women. And they say, well, what do you mean? It can't be more than one black woman. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm telling you is the reality is she's the world champion and she hadn't lost. Like black woman, white woman, Asian woman, it didn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Nobody else matters right now outside of Bianca Belair. As far as what they care about, we're talking about the WWE. We're talking about the majority audience. We're talking about a commercial appeal, right? She's on the freaking Uber Eats commercials, whatever the case may be. She's doing other competitions. She's not just a wrestling girl. She don't just love wrestling. You know what I mean? She is a box office brand, and she's gorgeous. She fits the mold. She does everything, which is why she can't lose. She's She's taken out almost 3 out of the 4 horsewomen. I believe so. I think Charlotte's left on that list.
Charlotte's left.
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, man, she has transcended into the stratosphere. And I said they're not going to care. They're not going to care about Sasha Banks at this point. It doesn't mean they don't want her back, but they're like, dude, as long as we distract the fans with her, we don't need to. They won't focus on that. When CM Punk left WWE, there were chants of CM Punk for years after he left.
Yep.
I mean, it didn't matter where you was at. That was the okay. I don't like what I'm talking about. I don't like what you showing me. CM Punk. See, okay. I don't. This match is taking too long. I'm ready to move. I get it. That was the chant where that was the wrap up chant. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because the fans clamor for that, and that was the main audience. Like whoever's in front of the TV is considered the main audience, not the segment at home, not us that do these shows all hours of the night talking about it. They don't care nothing about what we think because we're the 25%. We're the 25%. We know her value, and we don't know the story behind watching. Because honestly, I don't think she's really gone. Honestly, either I think this is all. I think she's working us all. If you ask me, do I think her value is worth it? I do. I really do. But
she's living right now, bro.
I don't think the WWE is concerned.
She's living. Just let her live.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, look at him. Here you go. Here we go.
In 1992, Vince McMahon had a very tough conversation with the man that put millions of dollars in his pocket. Told him it was time for him to go home. It's time to wind this bad boy down. The bottom line is Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, 2 of the biggest box office draws in wrestling history and in some ways entertainment history, was told they could go home. And when they went home, they wasn't missed. And what I mean wasn't missed is, was there steps taken back, but the company still moved on. Tom Brady missed a whole year of football. NFL still moved on. I do think people miss Sasha and Naomi, but not to the degree that they're going to say, I'm not watching wrestling no more. I don't think that will ever be the case.
It's not there anymore. Yeah.
I do think, there was, and there will be certain chants in certain cities of the We Want Sasha chants. Not as much as the CM Punk chants.
Right.
But there will be, Boston, maybe some parts of Florida, certain segments.
Sure.
But I think that, I love what they did because essentially, honestly, they probably increased their worth because, like Triple H says, there's a breakdown of communication. And the way I feel is, all right, you go do you, take some time to cool off, go do you, go live your dreams. We'll come back and talk. I hated the notion that
Rey Mysterio did it.
Bingo.
Came back and got all the respect he needed. Red carpet treatment.
How about people forget that Rey Mysterio was on the first All In or the only All In in the main event? you know, so I hate the notion of, and I truly do hate this notion that Naomi and Sasha isn't needed because of Bianca, only because I look at them as individuals. They all bring something different to the table. I get what people are saying. I get how corporations going to look at it. I choose not to look at it that way because I don't see them as the same. It's like, but I think that, because like when they was there, they had a purpose. It's not like, okay, Bianca's on top, let's kick Sasha and Naomi to the curb. No, they were tag team champions. That's where the whole argument started in the first place. Because I get what maybe WWE wanted the help to use Naomi and Sasha's star power to add some wins to Bianca's title reign, whatever, right?
Yep.
And Ronda Rousey, because I think both of them, the rumor is both of them were supposed to lose to each,
right?
Maybe to help that, and that's where they had the issues because they wanted to. If we gonna lose, let's lose our tag team titles. Let's build this division, But I think that, one always, like I said, I think the company will always move on. I don't think, of course, fans do miss both of them, but not to the extent that they'll stop watching wrestling. And that's where I'm at that. They'll miss them, but not to the extent because the company will always go on. Like I said, John Cena. And to Roger's point, now that's the case where I'm moving on. And I've said this time and time again. If Lamar Jackson leaves the Ravens, I have a Lamar Jackson cup that I have not drank out of yet. Not drink until he signs contract, and I will move on. I will not be a Ravens fan. But that's what I think. I don't think nobody will ever be that big in the company to the point. If it didn't happen with Austin, like it didn't happen with Hogan, okay. But then Austin, if it didn't happen with him, it ain't gonna happen with nobody.
This is why you got to have these debate shows. You ready, brother Hugh?
I was about to say I was talking from a business perspective though.
But you know the crazy
think
part
about it. It's not a rush it's not a rush for the WWE to go out and be like, look, I have to go sign her.
Especially for all the money, especially for like all the money she claims she wants.
Yeah,
all the money she says she
and these are some of the rumors that you're hearing. Like, they need this person. They need that person. Like, yes, they're a great addition.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying. They'll fit into their spot. You know what I'm saying. I'm not saying like I don't want them there, but let's be honest. From a business perspective,
they're not drawing.
Why is WWE going to rush? Yeah, why are they going to be in a ruch when you just got Becky Lynch back, the man Becky Lynch?
There you go. Like that. First of all, that she sells like tickets, ratings, and T-shirts. I don't think we saw that with Sasha and Naomi. Tickets, ratings, and T-shirt. We're talking the machine money, not what we think and what we like and all that other kind of stuff. Like there's a place for that type of stuff.
So that's why they're not tripping. If Sasha says she want to go to Japan and wrestle. All right, go ahead.
Go get that money.
Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Even if she shows up in AEW, all right, do what you got to do.
It's not gonna make a difference. It's not gonna save AEW. If Daniel Bryan fresh off of WrestleMania doesn't help AEW move the needle, or freaking Paige, one of the most storied professional wrestlers of all time, doesn't make a difference in their women's division. And I'm gonna tell you this: those are
that division.
Only one person I believe could save AEW.
It's got to be like it's Randy Orton,
Randall Keith Orton.
Yeah, like it's because it's only one person that saved WCW, which was Hogan, and then he brought up a Savage, and then eventually that wore out, and then he brought in Nash and Hall that really weren't like on the same level with. But here's the issue with your argument, Brian H. I'm about to raise you one. You can take this back to your to your clicks and stuff like that. Here's the argument, and this is what I pose to anybody that wants to challenge me on it. I like to debate. You ready, brother Hugh?
Yeah, what's up?
Here's my argument why I raise you one for what you said. You compared Sasha Banks and Naomi to 1992. He had a dramatic moment, and he said, "Let's wrap this up." He said the same thing to Austin. Yeah, he said that to Austin and Hogan when they were past their prime, not when they were in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
It's because when you're making that type of money in your prime, it don't matter what you want. Whatever you want, you're gonna get it.
Yeah,
it's because you're an entity to this group. It didn't matter what Austin wanted. I promise you, he was going to get it. He wasn't holding them hostage. It's because Austin was getting older, and they were ready to move on to younger talent. Sasha Banks and Naomi are in their prime, and they're not being valued as assets to the point where a certain amount of money is put on the table and say, "No, we need you to sign. We need you to sign right now." Like we're in our last hour. Bret Hart spent years in the WWF before Vince goes, let's wrap this up. I seen the WCW because he was like, well, they don't know what to do with Bret Hart anyway, because Bret Hart is one of my creations. He can wrestle and be all those things, but it'll never be the same. They can't present him the way that I presented it. Yeah, but that wasn't in Bret Hart's prime. Bret Hart was in the twilight of his career. Like, he was in his prime, but he was, and even then he was worth a large amount that Vince was going to pay him $1 million or $3 million over 20 years, whatever the case the number was supposed to be. Sasha Banks and Naomi
that's what I was saying. Yeah,
they're in their prime. So what does that say about how they feel about them business wise? So either one or two things you're gonna pull. You're gonna cry racism, you're gonna cry sexism, or you're gonna cry that WWE just doesn't know better, right? But like Brother Hugh said, if they really were what they said what they were, do you really think WWE would say, bro, we can't afford for you not to be here?
Nah, bro, they will have him back.
I'm just saying. From my
understanding, they've been in talks, right? Here and there, off and on, whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
So it's like, look, from my understanding,
sure.
I'm just going off of what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Grapevine.
1 minute they're in talks. Next minute they negotiate their releases, and it's like, well,
so I understand. Like, if you want to throw the money out there on the table, throw the money out there on the table. But at the same time, you got to remember, it's Triple H and not Vince McMahon.
There you go.
Running things. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And if that atmosphere has changed backstage And if that atmosphere is changed for these wrestlers that are, or these entertainers that are coming in or going out or whatever that's working for the WWE, Triple H is going to give you that time to decide on what's best for you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Vince
So
McMahon
if
did
you
the
want to
same
go
thing
run,
though. Vince Gage sauce. He said, "I'm not releasing you. I think I value you that much. Go take some time off, get your head together, and come back and let's play." Like, you feel me? He could have said, "I was." Vince could have easily said, "Well, I don't care then." And she said on Austin's podcast, "Hey, Vince doesn't tell me what to do. I tell Vince what I want to do," and I really believe her, and I believe that may be true. And I think that the drop off in communication with them had nothing to do with Vince. It had nothing to do with Sasha and Naomi. It had everything to do with how funky the process was while Vince was in charge. So naturally, the CEO was responsible for it. You know what I mean? From what I hear, like you said, brother Hugh, I don't know if this is true or not, but they had an issue with something, and Vince said, "All right, we'll have so and so and them change it," and then it just never got changed. And I mean, anybody's going to feel betrayed if that happens. You go to the top boss and he says, "Okay, we're supposed to change it," and then they don't. You know what I mean? I can understand that as well. But at the end of the day, I'm saying like, oh, okay, well, if it make dollars, if it doesn't make dollars, then it doesn't make sense. For some reason, I don't know why. This could all just be one big joke, because what if Sasha Banks shows up at freaking Royal Rumble? The first time she left, it was all these rumors, everybody saying stuff, and none of it was true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And she came back, and she even had a whole documentary. It was like, this is what they literally put up all the tweets of the stuff that people were saying that just wasn't true. You know what I mean? But she's also one of those people that protects the business. You know, she's also one of those people that likes to make a splash because she's a true time-honored wrestling fan. What I'm saying is, there's a reason, for whatever reason, if they're not paying her what she feels like she should be paid, why they're not paying her that money.
Well, at the end of the day, it don't matter, because the WWE and New Japan, they're all working together. Surprise, y'all!
Oh man, drop the mic on that one, bro. That was dope. That's perfect. We'll leave it alone on that one. That was a great way to end it.
That was my point, was what I was trying to make. Wasn't that they was Austin or Hogan. The point was that if he did that to them, nobody else stands a chance. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, but you said that about guys that were past their prime. Though,
it don't. But that's, even if it's still saying like
Hogan was like 132.
No, he wasn't.
He said 132. Yeah. He would have. Vince would have never said it to Hogan and Austin in their prime, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And he wouldn't. But even if he was,
you're saying that about people, like, I get what you're saying. If they were older women right now and it was like, all right, it's time to wrap this up. I know you guys want all this money and it's not. But you're talking about women in their prime versus superstars that weren't in their prime.
But they don't touch. But like the point is, they don't touch the dollars and cents.
Who doesn't touch the dollars and cents? What do you?
Sasha and Naomi don't touch the dollars and cents that Austin and Hogan made.
But that's the whole point. That's the whole point that Brother Hugh's trying to make. Realistically, financially, what's the return on investment? You want all this money. Are you saying that WWE's paying them because they're biased? Or
I thought the money was never the argument until like recently. I thought the argument.
Know.
That's the point.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what Brother Hugh was saying. He was going off what he has been hearing. And that's what I said. Well, I don't know if that's what it's about, because 1 minute they're saying it's creative, and next minute they're saying, oh, it's finances. So we just looked at both. We're looking at both sides. Creatively, what's the issue? Because you were the champions and you're not being booked, so you're frustrated about that and you walking away. And then when you got a chance to come back, now you're saying it's finances. Well, what is it is? And then there's rumors saying, well, it's about money now. She wants to get paid, like, out of why? Because that's what you feel you're worth, or do you feel like you're drawing that kind of money and you're not being compensated for what you're drawing? That's the conversation we try to figure out, because that's the only conversation that's left to be had. Because now they'd love to have Sasha Banks back, but they have to make business decisions. You think Triple H can't find what to do for creatively? And then you can't pull the sexism because the CEO of the company is Stephanie McMahon. There's a chink in the armor that's broke somewhere. And I know we support the sisters, and we always will. But like, hey, it's a conversation that we need to have. Like, what are we saying? No, because none of us really know what it is. Like, if Sasha Banks goes, well, I'm burnt out, I just can't handle WWE. Okay, cool. That kills every argument, every conversation. We don't know why she walked out. If she clarifies that, we're only going off what we hear, and it's like, well, WWE really has skipped the beat since they've been gone, especially since Triple H has taken over. They're staying alive through the rumor mill. Because if it wasn't for the rumor mill,
Right.
outside of us, we're the 25%. We're the only one that participate in that stuff. When you take your family to a live show, and that live audience, we heard it on the Ric Flair documentary. He's like, yeah, people didn't know. Ric Flair was the biggest superstar in the world of professional wrestling, but in 1992, they said the WWE audience wasn't too familiar with Rick as we thought they would be. What? And that's the same audience they cater to today. Like, yeah, the WWE audience, they know who she is and that kind of stuff and all that. Yeah, we get all that, but it's like, do they really care at the end of the day? Oh, that's sad. But, you know, nobody's sitting there saying women's wrestling suck. We need to bring back Sasha Banks. It's because another young lady is killing it, and they trick bagged us. So they're like, look, they can't argue because they're gonna say black girls are hating on each other. So you got a black girl, and she's champion, and she's being booked like John Cena. What you gonna complain about? That's how and I said it from the beginning. I said, oh yeah, they're gonna put us in a catch-22. I said because they're gonna force us to forget about Sasha Banks because we're gonna be too busy celebrating another queen. We're gonna stop celebrating one queen and preference for two other queens. Nah, now you got to make a choice because they're on the same level, right? So it's one thing if Becky Lynch is champion, okay, you can cry racism. There you go. We got a white woman. There's favor, right? They keep the sisters down, right? Or and then you say, okay, well maybe she draws more money than them. Okay, cool. Now you got three sisters, right?
They saving that butt, bro.
You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, so are you telling me that Sasha Banks was the highest grossing women's wrestler in WWE currently on the roster? Does anybody believe that? Brian H, do you believe that? Okay, so right. So now she's saying devil's advocate. She wants the money. She want to be compensated. Right. Okay, cool. So business-wise, they still have to make decisions business-wise, right? Well, why would we pay you? Why like what it's one thing. Let me ask you this. Do you think she's getting what she's worth now?
I don't know, because I don't know.
Is it a contract dispute? Are you saying, well, I was never happy with my contract, I wanted more money? Steph Curry signed an early contract at one point with the Golden State Warriors, and he was the low man on the totem pole. Is because he signed a bad contract because he was afraid he didn't want all the guaranteed money for his bad ankles. At one point in time, he was the lowest paid guy on that championship team. Now, when that contract was up, he got the money he deserved. He got all that buku money. Are we saying the same thing about Sasha Banks and Naomi? Is that the issue? Is that what we fussing about? Is that okay? If I come back, I want to be compensated this. Why are you drawing this? Are your t-shirts selling this? Because now it's a business conversation. I like you personally. I love what you've done for us as a brand, but we're not going with you anyway. You are important, but you walked out. Something to think about. I'm just saying. So when you compare Vince wrapping guys up, yeah, and when they're old. And not giving guys to guys like Austin and guys like Hogan and guys like Savage, they didn't get proper send-offs. That's what they felt disrespected about. Like, bro, you didn't give me a proper send-off. Savage, that's it. Just gonna commentate. Let me work a program with Shawn Michaels. Oh no, let's run out. You're good. You're great, Macho. You don't need to do anything else. Let's do this commentary. He's like, I don't like how this ends for me. Goes to WCW, has another run. You can't tell how old Macho Man is in WCW because of the way the product is presented. Same thing with Hogan. They got second runs as grandpas. You know what I mean?
They're the same age as AJ Styles.
AJ Styles' age and the old timers' age wasn't the same. Ric Flair 42 ain't the same as AJ Styles is 42.
I say this all the time. It's Conrad say I say this all the time. AJ Styles was 42.
AJ Styles is 46 right now.
Well, I'm going off old podcasts.
I mean, you can't tell me nothing about AJ Styles because you look at Ric Flair 46. You're like, bro, they're not the same guy.
Man, I always thought Ric Flair was like at least 60 when I was younger.
Bro, Ric Flair was 42 or was it 40 in 1992. I said, what the heck,
right.
bro?
Bro, man, he just always had that old look about it. I guess it was the color of his hair. I just think
it might because he drank too much, man. His skin started looking
scaly. That too, yeah.
That's the wear and tear on you, and just living that lifestyle, man. But